Have you ever felt that knot of worry in your stomach, that fear of not being seen, of your hard work going unnoticed? Or maybe that burning desire for things to be fair, for honesty to win? Perhaps you've even had a suspicion, a nagging feeling that something isn't quite right where you spend your days, pouring your heart and soul into your work? Well, this very story I'm about to share, it touches on all of that. It's about those hidden truths, the moments that can change everything in the blink of an eye. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments below, where in the world are you watching from right now? It's always amazing to see how far these stories reach. And hey, if you're already feeling that little tug of curiosity, that sense that this is going to be good, go ahead and tap that like button. It lets me know we're connecting. Because honestly, the story, it's for you. Yes, you, the one reading this right now. It's about the moments we all crave, where what's hidden comes to light, where the underdog might just have their day. It's about a CEO who decided to walk into the heart of her own company, not in a fancy suit and power heels, but as someone completely ordinary. And what she discovered, it was a mistake, a single, seemingly small mistake made by a receptionist that ended up revealing so much more. Let's dive in to see what happened, shall we? The glass doors of Prosperity Bank slid open with a soft whoosh, and a woman named Evelyn stepped inside. She wasn't the Evelyn everyone knew, the sharp, impeccably dressed CEO who usually swept through the lobby with an air of quiet authority. Today, she was just Sarah, a slightly nervous-looking woman in simple clothes, her hair pulled back in a plain ponytail. A small, worn handbag hung from her shoulder, and her eyes darted around, taking the familiar surroundings as if seeing them for the very first time. Evelyn had this gnawing feeling, a sense that the warmth and efficiency she strived for in her bank weren't always reaching the customers. She'd heard whispers, seen inconsistencies in customer feedback, and that suspicion had grown into a need to see things for herself, unfiltered. Hence, Sarah was born. Behind the reception desk sat a young woman named Tiffany. Her nails were brightly painted, and she was engrossed in her phone, a pair of earbuds tucked in. Evelyn, as Sarah, approached the desk, a polite smile on her face. "Excuse me," Evelyn began softly. Tiffany barely glanced up, her thumb still scrolling. "Yeah," she mumbled, not bothering to make eye contact. Evelyn's heart sank a little. This wasn't the welcoming atmosphere she envisioned. I have an appointment with Mr. Abernathy," she said, trying to keep her voice even. Tiffany finally looked up, her expression one of mild annoyance at being interrupted. "Name?" she asked curtly, without a hint of warmth. "Sarah Miller," Evelyn replied. Tiffany tapped on her keyboard, her brow furrowed slightly. "Miller? Miller? No, I don't see a Sarah Miller on Mr. Abernathy's schedule." "Oh," Evelyn said, a touch of nervousness creeping into her voice. I confirmed it just yesterday. Perhaps there's been a mistake." Tiffany sighed dramatically, as if Evelyn was causing her a great inconvenience. "Look, lady, if it's not here, it's not here. Mr. Abernathy is a very busy man. You probably got the day wrong." She turned back to her phone, effectively dismissing Evelyn. A wave of disappointment washed over Evelyn. This coldness, this lack of care, it wasn't just unprofessional. It was the opposite of everything Prosperity Bank was supposed to stand for. But she kept her composure. "Is there anyone else I could speak to? I really need to discuss a time-sensitive matter." Tiffany huffed again. "Fine. Take a seat. I'll see if someone's free," she said. Her tone implied it was a huge favor. Evelyn sat down in one of the waiting chairs, her mind racing. This brief interaction had already confirmed some of her deepest fears. The disconnect between the bank's mission and the reality on the ground seemed vast. Minutes ticked by, each one feeling like an eternity. Tiffany remained absorbed in her phone, occasionally letting out a small laugh at something on the screen. Other customers entered, and Tiffany treated them with the same lack of enthusiasm. Evelyn watched, a growing sense of unease settling in her stomach. Finally, a kind-looking woman with a warm smile, whose name tag read Brenda, approached Evelyn. "Hello, ma'am. I apologize for the wait. Tiffany can sometimes get a bit overwhelmed. How can I help you?" The contrast between Brenda's genuine concern and Tiffany's indifference was stark. Evelyn felt a flicker of hope. "Thank you, Brenda. I had an appointment with Mr. Abernathy, but the receptionist couldn't find it." Brenda frowned. "Let me take a look for you. What was the name again?" "Sarah Miller," Evelyn replied. Brenda efficiently checked the computer. "Ah, yes, Ms. Miller. Here it is. For 10 a.m. You're a little early, but that's no problem at all. Mr. Abernathy is expecting you. Please come with me." As Brenda led Evelyn toward the offices, Evelyn glanced back at Tiffany, who was still on her phone, oblivious to the small drama that had just unfolded. The mistake Tiffany had made wasn't just about a missed appointment. It was about the entire experience a customer had, the first impression of Prosperity Bank. Mr. Abernathy, a portly man with a friendly face, greeted Evelyn warmly. "Ms. Miller, so glad you could make it. Please have a seat." Evelyn, still in character as Sarah, explained her business proposal, carefully observing Mr. Abernathy's reactions and the way he interacted with his staff. He was polite and professional, but Evelyn noticed a certain detachment, as if he were slightly removed from the day-to-day happenings of the bank floor. Over the next few days, Evelyn, as Sarah, moved through different departments of Prosperity Bank. She worked alongside tellers, shadowed loan officers, and even spent a day in the customer service call center. What she saw both encouraged and deeply troubled her. She met dedicated employees like Brenda, who genuinely care about the customers and went above and beyond to help them. She also encountered others who seemed jaded, going through the motions without any real engagement. The lack of consistent customer service was glaring. One afternoon, while Sarah was helping out at the information desk, a distraught elderly woman approached, her voice trembling. I don't understand these new charges on my account," she said, clutching a bank statement. "I can barely make ends meet as it is." The employee at the desk, a young man named Kevin, sighed audibly. "Ma'am, you need to take a number and wait in line for customer service." His tone was dismissive, lacking any empathy. Evelyn stepped forward. "Excuse me, Kevin. Perhaps I could take a quick look." Kevin rolled his eyes but didn't object. Evelyn gently took the statement from the woman and patiently went through the charges with her. It turned out to be a misunderstanding about a new fee, which Evelyn clarified in simple terms. The elderly woman's face lit up with relief. "Oh, thank you, dear," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You've been so kind." The young man just seemed like he didn't want to be bothered. That evening, Evelyn sat alone in her modest hotel room, the experiences of the day weighing heavily on her. The kindness of Brenda and the gratitude of the elderly woman were bright spots, but the indifference of Tiffany and Kevin painted a concerning picture. How many customers have been turned away, felt unheard, or left frustrated because of such interactions? The receptionist's mistake with her appointment now seemed like a small symptom of a larger problem, a lack of genuine care and attention to the human element of banking. It wasn't about policies or procedures. It was about the heart and soul of the people representing Prosperity Bank. The time had come for Evelyn to reveal her true identity. She scheduled a company-wide meeting, the invitation simply stating important announcement. A buzz of anticipation and speculation filled the main hall as employees gathered, wondering what the CEO had to say. Evelyn walked onto the stage, not in her usual power suit, but in the same simple attire she had worn as Sarah. A hush fell over the room. "Good morning," she began, her voice calm but carrying. "For the past few weeks, I've been walking among you, not as your CEO, but as someone you didn't know, as Sarah Miller." A collective gasp rippled through the audience. Faces registered shock, confusion, and a dawning realization. Evelyn continued, her gaze sweeping across the room. "I wanted to understand, truly understand, the experience of our customers and the challenges you face every day. What I found was a mix of incredible dedication, and, I must say, some areas that deeply concern me." She spoke about Brenda's kindness, about the elderly woman's relief, and then her voice took on a more serious tone as she recounted her initial interaction with Tiffany. "Tiffany," Evelyn said, her eyes meeting the young woman's wide, fearful gaze. "Your initial dismissal of me, your lack of attention and care, it wasn't just a mistake in scheduling. It was a missed opportunity to make a positive first impression, to show someone that Prosperity Bank values them. A heavy silence hung in the air. Evelyn then spoke about Kevin's dismissive attitude towards a distressed customer. "These aren't isolated incidents," Evelyn stated. "I've seen a pattern, a disconnect between the values we preach and the reality some of our customers face. And that, my friends, is not acceptable." Tiffany's face was pale, tears welling in her eyes. Kevin looked equally distraught. Evelyn's tone softened slightly. "This isn't about blame. It's about growth. It's about remembering why we're all here, to serve our community, to help people achieve their financial dreams with trust and respect." She then announced a series of initiatives aimed at improving customer service, including enhanced training programs focused on empathy and communication, a new system for addressing customer concerns promptly, and a renewed emphasis on the bank's core values. "We need to cultivate a culture where every employee feels empowered to make a difference, where every customer feels valued and heard," Evelyn declared. "The receptionist mistake, as it might seem, has opened our eyes to a larger truth. We need to do better, and I believe we can together." The room remained quiet for a moment. Then a slow clap began, spreading gradually until the entire hall was filled with applause. Employees looked at each other, a sense of shared understanding and renewed purpose in their eyes. Later that day, Evelyn met with Tiffany and Kevin individually. She didn't berate them but spoke to them with honesty and compassion, explaining the impact of their actions and the importance of their roles. Tiffany, tearful and remorseful, apologized profusely, explaining she had been going through some personal issues that had affected her focus. Kevin also expressed regret, admitting he had become complacent in his role. Evelyn, seeing their genuine remorse and willingness to improve, offered them a chance. "This is your opportunity to learn and grow," she said. "I believe everyone deserves a second chance to do better." She enrolled them in the new customer service training program personally, emphasizing the importance of empathy and genuine connection. Weeks passed, and a noticeable change swept through Prosperity Bank. The atmosphere was warmer, the interactions more genuine. Customers began to comment on the friendlier service. Evelyn, occasionally visiting different branches unannounced, observed a significant improvement. Tiffany, now attentive and smiling, greeted everyone who walked to the door with a cheerful, "Welcome to Prosperity Bank. How may I help you today?" Kevin was seen patiently assisting customers, his earlier dismissiveness replaced with a helpful demeanor. The receptionist mistake hadn't cost Tiffany her job the way one might initially assume. Instead, it had cost the bank its complacency. It had been the catalyst for a profound shift, a reminder that even the smallest actions can have a significant impact, and that true leadership involves not just seeing the bottom line, but seeing the people, both the customers and the employees, who make it all possible. And so, the story of the undercover CEO and the receptionist mistake became a quiet legend within Prosperity Bank, a testament to the power of empathy, the importance of genuine connection, and the transformative potential of seeing things through another's eyes. It reminds us all that sometimes the greatest lessons come from the most unexpected places, and that true value lies not just in what we do, but in how we make others feel.